All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. My name is Rachel. I'm on the marketing team that's supporting today's event. Before we get started, just want to make you aware that this session is being recorded. You should have received a notification to accept recording. We encourage you to use the chat window that you should see here in the Teams meeting. Throughout today's presentation, as you have questions that arise, we have dedicated time at the end to address any questions that you submit. If we run out of time, we'll follow up you individually with those questions. For those of you who are new to Reply, I'll just give you a quick introduction before I hand it over to today's presenters. Reply is a global network made up of over 100 specialized technology and consulting companies. We partner with customers across various industries and sectors to provide end-to-end services across the strategy, design, and system integration portfolio. Through our hyperscale partnership with Microsoft, we are at the forefront of innovation in areas like AI, digital experience, business transformation, cybersecurity, process automation, data, and lots more. We're a global network, and we bring local scale and agility to design and deliver solutions that help nonprofits achieve more. You can see here on screen a couple of the nonprofits we've had the honor of working with. We hope we have prepared what will be an impactful learning experience for you today with experts from our Biz Apps and Power Platform business units. They'll demonstrate how you can leverage Microsoft 365, Power Platform, Dynamics, and Azure to do good for less. We'll first look at the Cloud for Nonprofit platform and integrations that can help you optimize operations, fundraising, and program delivery. Then we'll share some examples of how you can build on the Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit framework to create custom AI apps tailored to your organization and mission. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to the real experts on this subject, Andrew and Pete, who will introduce themselves, and we'll kick off today's presentation. Pete, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Pete Meeks. I'm a solutions consultant with Valorem Reply based in Kansas City. So I've been a cloud architect with the organization for over 4 years now, and specializing in Power Platform and all the cool things that go along with that, and also AI solutions. So I'll be coming back around later in our presentation today to talk about some of those things. Andrew?
Thanks, Pete. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. My name's Andrew. I'm the Microsoft Power Platform and Microsoft Dynamics CRM lead for WM Reply. I've been with the company for just over 5 years now, and I was thinking about it earlier. I've got about 15 years of experience within the Dynamics space, wearing multiple hats, and we're excited to show you what the Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofits can do. Rachel, take it away. Thank you.
The world has changed so much in profound and fundamental ways. Now, we've seen the role of technology have a positive impact as we all try to survive through this pandemic. The level of technology adoption has rapidly accelerated. As we think about the pace of transformation, we have to understand the consequence of the transformation as well, and what our role in the transformation is. Nonprofits need more support than ever. The volume of giving has gone down 10% year on year, and the value of recurring donors has gone up. 33% or more of nonprofits report that at least 20% of job vacancies go unfilled. This is double at 40% for fundraising roles. Inflationary pressures is driving capability optimizations and consolidation across affiliates, driving downstream impacts in local jobs. We have all seen the rise of AI very quickly filter through our daily life. From the large language models such as ChatGPT and generative visual AIs such as Midjourney, we are riding the crest of an unprecedented wave of technological innovation with far greater impact than the Industrial Revolution had for mankind. But what does this mean for the nonprofit sector? How can we leverage these powerful technologies to aid us in our vision to empower nonprofit organizations across the world?
Nonprofit organizations are on the front lines of our world's most pressing issues, providing critical support and often life-saving services to communities across the globe. Yet nonprofits have often faced an unmet need for technology solutions to ensure that the full power of supporters and funders, volunteers, and program staff can focus on the mission. Welcome to Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit, empowering scalable and transformative mission impact. Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit connects the trusted cloud capabilities of Microsoft to the most common nonprofit scenarios, such as constituent and program analytics, program design and delivery, volunteer management, and fundraising. Workflows and data sources from across the organization are united on a single platform to drive evidence-based decision-making. Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit unlocks the power of Microsoft 365, Azure, Dynamics 365, Power Platform, and LinkedIn, all brought together by the Nonprofit Common Data Model. Our Microsoft partner ecosystem further extends the capabilities of the platform with even more industry-specific services and solutions. Built with and for this sector, Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit provides the flexibility to adopt specific capabilities you need when you need them to ultimately accelerate mission outcomes.
At the core of Microsoft's strategy to help organizations meet these increasing demand is the Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit. Microsoft has been serving the sector for years with its cloud, but Cloud for Nonprofit represents the company's engineering commitment to build out capabilities especially for nonprofits. Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofits connects the nonprofit infrastructure with integrated and intelligent capabilities. By bringing together disparate data from across the organization, allows nonprofits to realize the true value of their data to accelerate their mission outcomes. The Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit is built using Microsoft's core engineering principles. It's a cross-cloud suite of applications that unlocks the power of Microsoft Dynamics, Power Platform, Teams, Azure, and LinkedIn by leveraging Dataverse and the nonprofit common data model. Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit brings together the company's trusted cloud capabilities into a common platform aligned to sector best practices and supporting the most common organizational scenarios. These include helping organizations understand their donors and support to drive fundraising and engagement, improving how organizations deliver programs, including mobilization of volunteers, as well as helping organizations accelerate mission outcomes by realizing the full value of their data to gain critical mission insights, building security into the heart of everything Microsoft does. Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit leverages numerous investments, including the Nonprofit Common Data Model, Nonprofit Accelerator, and Fundraising and Engagement. Fundraising and engagement sits at its core, and the Common Data Model is the backbone that supports a new modular architecture that lights up a bevy of new features while ensuring security for donor and program participant data. By breaking down silos across programs and operations, Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit drives insights that accelerates mission efficacy and back office efficiency. Completing the circle, following the flow of funding from the initial gift through to program delivery and then to impact measurements, helps nonprofit understand donor propensity and design personalized engagement to improve fundraising. It's a bold vision, but one that unlocks the power of Microsoft technologies. Microsoft's role is to empower every individual and organization on the planet to achieve more. The company introduces industry-specific cloud capabilities built on top of the secure, compliant Microsoft Cloud, offering nonprofits the scale and performance needed for managing workflows unique to this sector. Microsoft's integrated cloud approach creates an unmatched platform for digital transformation, focusing on addressing the real-world needs of customers with Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, and Azure, which integrates seamlessly to unlock business value for every organization. The company offers unparalleled integration, architectural coherence, openness, and extensibility through its first-party technology platforms and services, which are customizable and built for integrations by ISVs, SIs, and for customer-built solutions. Microsoft provides complete enterprise-ready data and business process workflows along with integrated cloud capabilities that unify data on the nonprofit common data model and Dataverse, delivering real-time, actionable insights. The platform is secure and accessible, leveraging the trusted Microsoft Cloud. This is the Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit Solutions and how we are enabling nonprofits in each of the priority scenarios. We're uniquely bringing together trusted cloud capabilities across the Microsoft stack and building out sector-specific solutions to drive relevance of the technology you use every day, to drive faster time to value and measurable impact. You'll see across the different scenarios, we include core functionality around fundraising and engagement, volunteer management, volunteer engagement, financials, power apps, power pages, marketing journeys, customer insights, and many more, all supported by the nonprofit common data model.
Nonprofits and the volunteers who support them are addressing many of our world's most pressing challenges, but these efforts are often impacted by limited funding, outdated technology, and restricted budgets. Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit unlocks the power of your data through a set of intelligent and integrated cloud solutions that can help you know your donors and supporters, deliver effective programming, and accelerate your mission outcomes. In this video, you'll see how the Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit, specifically volunteer management and volunteer engagement, both built on the Microsoft Power Platform, can help you recruit, onboard, and engage volunteers so you can deliver effective programming. Let's meet Vanessa McBride, volunteer manager at a nonprofit organization focused on land stewardship. Vanessa uses the Opportunity Dashboard in volunteer management to review volunteer activities. She can see how many active engagements she's managing, the number of unfilled openings for volunteers, and applications ready to review. She can also see upcoming engagement opportunities and volunteer signups. And she can create new engagement opportunities as the need for more volunteers arises. She adds information about a new engagement opportunity for the organization's public-facing web portal, including a detailed description of the event. She also includes location details, including a map link to help volunteers find their way, and a contact to look for when they arrive. For virtual engagement opportunities, Vanessa can include a link to an online meeting space. She indicates volunteer requirements, including training and evaluations, desired skills, and who the opportunity is aimed at. Vanessa adds a date for the event. She can break up the day into shifts by indicating a start time, duration, and the number of volunteers needed. Volunteer management includes automatic messaging capabilities with pre-configured emails to send to volunteers at different stages of the engagement process. Vanessa can also add her own automated messages to further streamline her efforts. She can configure post settings to indicate what information will be shown on the public-facing volunteer portal. And when she's ready, Vanessa can publish this engagement opportunity to the volunteer engagement portal experience embedded within the organization's website. Potential volunteers like Jordan Mitchell can find the information they need to get involved. The organization's web portal provides Jordan with the details he needs to find an engagement opportunity that works with his schedule and matches his interests and skills. He receives an automated message confirming his application has been received. When signed into the portal, Jordan can do other things, like complete training and onboarding requirements, review his past and future volunteer engagements, update his profile, and more. Meanwhile, Vanessa uses the volunteer management solution to review new applications as they come in, and she opens Jordan's first. She can review basic information about Jordan, any previous and current interactions the organization has had with him, and any groups he might belong to. Volunteer managers like Vanessa can organize members by their shared interests and then interact with them as a group using group messaging, scheduling, and more. Vanessa can also review each of her active engagement opportunities. She gets an at-a-glance view of signups, including the number that need review, the number of cancellations, and the countdown of days remaining until the event begins, as well as a list of participants and their assignment status. Vanessa can also see any volunteer interactions for this engagement opportunity, which could include previous messages or any tasks or action items that have been assigned through the system. Once the event has taken place, Vanessa can get high-level attendance numbers to measure its success, and a detailed list of attendees she can follow up with to share future volunteer opportunities. Because volunteer management is part of the Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit, it integrates with fundraising and engagement to help support constituents on their journey from volunteer to financial supporter. Give volunteer managers the tools they need in one easy-to-use application and streamline the volunteer experience with the Volunteer Management and Volunteer Engagement Solutions, part of Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit. For more information, contact your Microsoft representative or visit our website.
Fundraising and engagement is backed by the Microsoft platform, built on Microsoft 365 Sales, the nonprofit common data model, and Dataverse, and is powered by Azure. With fundraising and engagement, we are empowering nonprofit staff with data-driven ways to modernize donor and constituent management, simplify fundraising and financial measurements, and to standardize data across disparate systems, which delivers greater impact and outcomes. Fundraising and engagement includes the following components: constituent and household management, opportunity management, donation management, designation management, donor stewardship, campaign, appeal, package, and marketing list management, recurring gift management, payment processing, event management, constituent research powered by LinkedIn Sales Navigator, reporting and embedded Power BI templates, all powered by Azure. Let's look at the fundraising performance dashboard. We launched fundraising and engagement to help nonprofits across the globe gain a holistic view of constituents, enable more seamless reconciliation and reporting, and exceed their fundraising goals. Built into fundraising and engagement, the likelihood to donate model is an IO model that uses your data to assign a likelihood status to each of your contacts that represents their propensity to give. These status designations enable forward-looking segmentations to support marketing journeys that help you reach your fundraising campaign goals. These donor statuses can be exported to various nonprofit marketing solutions, including seamless integration with Dynamics 365 Customer Insights. The model also provides insights into what drives a particular contact's likelihood status and the ability to sort and filter on the attributes of your choice. With Microsoft Sales Copilot, we are bringing in AI features using Teams Premium and Dynamics 365, and we'll see a demo here in a moment to demonstrate this.
Nonprofits today are addressing many of our world's most pressing challenges, but these efforts are often impacted by limited funding, outdated technology, and tight budgets. Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit unlocks the power of your data through a set of intelligent and integrated cloud solutions that can improve how well you attract, retain and grow donors, reach and engage audiences, and deliver programs in time at scale. Fundraising is a common scenario at nonprofit organizations and is part of Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit. In this video, you'll see how fundraising and engagement built for Dynamics 365 Sales as part of Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit can help improve how well you know your donors and supporters. Let's look at the solution through the eyes of Alexia Taylor, the Director of Development for a nonprofit organization. Alexia manages several campaigns for the organization to raise awareness and drive fundraising. She starts her day by reviewing the Power BI Campaign Performance Dashboard, where she can see a quick summary of campaigns, ROI over time, and other important KPIs. Additional dashboards in fundraising and engagement provide an overview of recent gifts, gifts sorted by designation, and gifts sorted by solicitor. She can also see the status of open opportunities and a timeline of gifts received for the past several months. She selects a recent major gift to view this donor's profile. In one view, Alexia can see a summary of the donor's giving history, householding relationships, recurring giving, and overall lifetime value. Having easy access to donor information eliminates the work of creating static reports and querying and piecing data together from multiple systems. She drills down to take a closer look. Here, Alexia sees donations, pledges, and future payments. Pledge commitments and recurring payments are posted automatically on a set schedule, saving Alexia and her team valuable time. She notices that this major gift is designated for maternal health, which is good news since it's one of her organization's highest priorities. From the Maternal Health Designation dashboard, Alexia can track fundraising history and open opportunities. There's one opportunity in particular she'd like an update on, so she drills into that opportunity for a closer look. She sees that this opportunity is in the solicitation stage of the fundraising process, so she reaches out to Greg Winston, who is the major gift officer assigned to this opportunity, for a status update. Alexia uses Microsoft Teams integration in Dynamics 365 to communicate, share files, and collaborate with her team in real time wherever they're working. She starts a Teams chat with Greg, who says he's planning to meet with a donor in the morning and that he'll provide Alexia with an update in time for her afternoon board meeting. Alexia navigates to the gifts area, where she can see her organization's overall fundraising performance. She expands the campaign performance view for a closer look. Using rich, interactive reporting capabilities, Alexia can get live updates on overall campaign performance. She can also drill down into individual campaigns to get detailed updates, including actual revenue versus target estimates. Alexia now has the campaign information she needs to share in tomorrow's board meeting. Let's switch to the point of view of Greg, the major gift officer, as he uses the fundraising and engagement solution to prepare for his upcoming donor meeting. Greg reviews his inbox and responds to donor inquiries. With Viva Sales and Outlook, he can leverage the power of AI to help him generate an effective reply, which he can quickly tweak and personalize. This allows him to respond to more constituents during his busy day. Viva Sales also provides inline access to information from Dynamics 365, including relevant details about this donor, such as where she works, her giving history, and any open opportunities she's associated with. He can also quickly access her full constituent record in Dynamics 365 to get a dashboard view of her donor activity. Equipped with these insights, Greg is well prepared to meet with his donor and secure his next major gift. Afterwards, Greg reviews the results of the meeting. With Viva Sales in Teams, he can see a quick recap of the meeting highlights and a summary of all the topics that were mentioned, along with a full meeting transcript for reference. He can also see an AI-generated timeline tracking meeting sentiment, which he can use to gauge his fundraising efforts. Manage everything from recurring giving programs and gift processing to opportunities and events, campaign reporting, and more, with fundraising and engagement built for Dynamics 365 Sales, part of Microsoft Cloud for nonprofit. For more information, contact your Microsoft representative or visit our website.
Great. Now that you've seen the foundational aspect of the Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofits, and personally, I really enjoy and I'm excited about the AI advances in that space, as well as the Outlook and Teams integration, which I think is going to be a major differentiator for our nonprofits out there. I'd like to pass the bat over to Pete, who's going to show you guys some AI capabilities that can augment this baseline solution from Microsoft for Nonprofits.
Thank you, Andrew. And yes, let's
build on the foundation of those capabilities that you have shown us and see how we can extend the capabilities to further leverage your data in your processes. And to do that using tools such as Azure OpenAI and the Power Platform. Specifically, we're going to look at a few different examples. One is a grant writing assistant and a recruitment assistant, and then some custom Power Platform solution ideas. And when you hear the word Power Platform, some people are familiar with it, some people are not. So just real briefly, a quick explanation. The cloud for nonprofit is built on Dynamics 365. And because of that, the Power Platform tools can be used to further its capabilities. So when we think about the Power Platform, we think of it as a set of tools that can be used to build standalone business applications, reports, and processes, or integrate with existing cloud tools such as Cloud for Nonprofit. It has specific tool sets in it: Copilot Studio, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI. And we won't be able to get into the details of what all these are, but just know that those collectively make up the Power Platform. There's of course a lot more to it than that, but that is at least something to kind of tie to when you think of Power Platform. Think of Copilot Studio as a way to take all these different capabilities that, such as even the ones that you've seen earlier, where you have these co-pilots, and you need to take that and maybe craft a more specific scenario to make it more repeatable and more detailed than what maybe an out-of-the-box Copilot is going to offer. Those can be built within Copilot Studio. Or Power Apps. That's the capability to build actual user interfaces that people can access on their devices, their mobile devices and such, and to collect data and do additional capabilities that might not exist inside of Cloud for Nonprofit. Power Automate is works behind the scenes. You don't really see it working, but it's doing all the complex execution of business rules and moving data around and doing the many tasks, either complex tasks or numerous tasks that is just going to take time for a human to do. And of course, Power BI, it's the oldest of the Power Platform capabilities, where we can have our dashboards and analytics and bring those together into powerful experiences that let us see all of our data synthesized together so that we can look for trends and make decisions and things of that nature. So let's get into these additional capabilities. We'll go back briefly to a slide that you saw earlier around fundraising and engagement, and all the capabilities that you have in Cloud for Nonprofit regarding the management of fundraising and engagement activities. And that could be with, of course, all the different donors and the people that are attending events and things. But there's other ways to raise funds in an organization, and that's by securing grants, where you have a more specific and targeted goal, and you can align that goal with an organization that is providing funds. If you can, match their criteria and make a good case for it, right? So that's the whole point of grant writing. But grant writing takes a little bit of time. And so to do that, we have a grant writing assistant that we've put together that gives you a head start on that process. And you can, using that, you can write more proposals. You can increase the quality of the proposals, because AI is able to dig deeper into your data, and you can make it be as verbose or non-verbose as you want. And it can bring about a consistent tone in the proposal, especially when you have multiple authors. That language then can be stylistically similar. We have a quick demo here to show you, but before we do, I just wanted to review some of the capabilities you're going to see. Now, this is an accelerator solution, meaning that we can implement it as is, but then customize it to additional requirements. And specifically, it can be programmed to use a specific proposal template and the prompts within that template, because every proposal is unique in what they're wanting you to justify. It can take inputs from specific documents, source documents that you provide in order to generate that grant content. And then it can allow you to further refine your results by asking more questions. So if you don't get quite the content you want, then you can ask a question to further refine that. And then we can, of course, copy and paste the results or download that resulting document and send it out for editing and final review. Important to note that your content is secured within Azure and it is abiding by the responsible AI guidelines and processes that Microsoft has put in place, not just for the Microsoft Cloud for Nonprofit, but for all AI-driven solutions in Azure. So let's take a quick look at a video of this grant writing assistant. So you'll see right off the bat, there's a couple different types of proposals we can and sections that we can start with. And so we're going to choose let's do the executive summary to make it simple as an example. And then it's going to show you, all right, in this executive summary, here's the sections that we're going to generate. And again, this is based on the template of the proposal that we're trying to generate. So it would be different in your case. But this is the example that we have. And you can upload the source documentation that's been put together. And a nice feature is you can reuse this for future proposals. So another grant writing assistant for another proposal, you can use the same documentation. But now the assistant here has ingested these documents, it's analyzed it, it's looked at the prompts to say, okay, what are we trying to do? What answers are we trying to provide for this executive summary? And now it's generating the content using the generative AI capabilities of Azure OpenAI. So it goes through here and generates these sections. Right now they're brief because it's an executive summary, but if we get into the more detailed sections, the prompts and the rules that we give the AI engine would be more detailed and instructive to get whatever level of detail and verbosity that we want, and to cover whatever topics we want. So now that this is kind of finishing with the content, we could now take this content and we could literally copy paste it into another document, or we could save the document to a cloud, and then it would be sent off for further review. Like it's not the final document. You're not going to just take this and send it off, but it's a good head start, and you might add to it and edit it and things of that nature. You see that there's a chat box here at the very bottom to type a new message. And if you wanted to further refine information, like within the evaluation plan, you didn't quite want it to say it like that. So you could say, could you rewrite the evaluation plan section and give more emphasis on ... and give it further instruction, and then take that output and put it into the document. So you can have this further conversation with the proposal output. So that is the grant writing assistant, a great head start for getting the content together based on the source document that you have and the specific requirements of the proposal template. Let's turn our attention now to volunteer engagement. And we have shown several of the features that are available to you within Cloud for Nonprofit around volunteer management. Let's look at a specific scenario where we're not looking at just a general, we need volunteers, we just need, arms and legs and people to help with different capabilities, but we need specific skills. So we have resumes that we need to go through. We're looking for specific jobs to be conducted within our organization by volunteers, and we have a whole bunch of them that need to be gone through. How do you do that in a quality fashion? Well, again, we have another accelerator type solution built on Azure OpenAI that gives you a head start on that process as well, where you have a lot of resumes, you need to review them, and instead of just doing the cursory glance looking for keywords, you can feed these into the assistant and it will do the detailed analysis according to the criteria that you give it. So in terms of capabilities that exist, again, this is customized to your requirements. So you're going to see some things that maybe these aren't your criteria, but we can certainly come up. It's programmable and configurable to meet your criteria for a specific job, and that can be managed by you. And then in the example, you're going to see it review a single resume, but you could also have it analyze multiple resumes, an entire folder of resumes. And within that, it shows which resumes are passing and failing on each of the criteria that we're looking for. And then for the past criteria, it highlights within the resume how it made that determination, like where'd you get that answer? So it will just highlight that for you. And even for certain resumes that you want to move forward with, it would generate a custom response based on the type of information that you've been looking for in that resume. As with the previous example, your content is secured in the cloud for nonprofit, abiding by those responsible AI guidelines that Microsoft has implemented. So let's take a look at another video here of the recruiting assistant. So you'll see here on the left is our list of criteria. We've uploaded a resume. Now these criteria again are configurable. This is what we have, to select from, but we could have another list that you could choose from for different jobs. And so we select these 6 criteria and we click the analyze button, and now it's going through and saying, well, it met 5 of these criteria. And you might want to know, well, how did you determine that this person has a strong background in graphic design? And it goes and looks at the resume, and then it highlights within the resume that portion of the content where it got that idea. Now, is it to the degree that you want it to be? Well, maybe, maybe not, but it's giving you that head start to show you that it's meeting certain criteria. And you can be as specific with those criteria. These are pretty general criteria, but you could get as specific as you want. And again, that's configurable to your liking. So you can just click down through each of these and see here's how we're meeting those criteria. And then if this looks like a resume that you want to move forward with, we can generate a personalized outreach message where it then takes these criteria and what it's found inside of the resume and generate content that you can then paste into an email and then edit further to reach out to this person. And so there it is, dear applicant. And so gives you a little bit of a head start there as well. So that is the recruiting assistant. Again, this is a single resume. This could be adapted to analyze multiple resumes at a time and extend that functionality even further. All right, lastly, let's talk about low code in the Power Platform. You remember those, the icons I was showing you earlier. You have the Copilot Studio, you have Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, all those components that make up the Power Platform. And now we can extend this cloud for nonprofit that's built on Dynamics 365 with those capabilities. And so really, as we talk about what is possible, is really only limited to your creativity and what your scenario is. It can be as simple or as complex as it needs. So as you've seen all kinds of great functionality demoed up to this point with the cloud for nonprofit, and in many cases that meets 100, let's say 100% of what you need. That's exactly what we need. We're done. We don't need to do anything else. We're just going to use that as is. But there might be some other areas within cloud for nonprofit that it gets you most of the way, but there's maybe some additional aspects of your business process or your reporting that you need to fill that final gap with. And that's what Power Platform was designed by Microsoft to do. It kind of fills in those gaps within these business applications and puts it where it needs to be in terms of like, is the work being done in cloud for nonprofit, or is it being done in Teams, or is it being done on a mobile device, or is it a custom website? And all that can be facilitated by the Power Platform. So if you think about Power Apps, you can build a Power App and you can embed that directly in Teams. if that's where the work is being done, then maybe we just put the app there, and then the data that's saved is going back into the database for Cloud for Nonprofit. As an example of that, that first bullet, maybe we're out there at a fundraiser trying to register people for an event. Maybe there's no Wi-Fi, so we have to have it on our mobile phone. And maybe there's custom information, demographic information that we're trying to collect there on the spot. So we need a custom app that is going to help do that. But we don't want it to be separate from Cloud for Nonprofit. We want all that data to flow back into the database so that we can report on it. That would be an ideal scenario for a Power App, or Power Automate, which is ideal for business processes, integrating those processes and moving data around and executing complex and uh, massive amounts of business rules. Let's think of some examples of how you might do that, where when in Cloud for Nonprofit, certain criteria are met, a certain dollar amount of something is met, a certain number of people or things happen, and you need to know that because it's a favorable thing or maybe it's an unfavorable thing. You need to know. And so we could implement some sort of complex business rule notification, or that could be even greater than just notification. It could actually go and do something. So rather than just tell you this happened in the system, we met this goal, or this event happened, we can then trigger an activity in another system to just go ahead and take action based on that without you having to intervene. So that's the automation part of Power Automate. Or with Power BI and Fabric, which is been recently released, to synthesize all your enterprise data. We've shown how you can collect and report on all this data that's being collected and managed within Cloud for Nonprofit. But if you need to now start to synthesize with other data that's outside of this tool, you can do that. Like if you wanted to combine your marketing information and your marketing efforts and your fundraising efforts, and maybe you had this data from a third party around demographics, and like, how do we munge all this data together to make sense of it and get a holistic view and look for trends and make decisions that are smart based on strategic decisions. We do that with Power BI within the Power Platform. And then if we wanted to use the Copilot Studio, which by the way used to be known as Power Virtual Agents. So if you're familiar with that old term, it's now Copilot Studio, which is AI-driven chatbots. We can, as an example of that, this fourth bullet on the right, we could essentially give our policies and procedures to the chatbot and say, look, here's the library of all this information. Create a chatbot that allows us to just go ask questions. So instead of having to read the FAQ or read through a bunch of documents and hope that it's the right answer, it's the updated version, or it's not redundant in some other document elsewhere, the chatbot knows all that and just gives you the answer. But even better than that, the chatbot will cite the location of that answer and tell you where it found it, so you can have confidence that it's the right answer. So that's a great way to be able to interact with your data in a very similar fashion that you saw in the other examples with the recruitment assistant and the grant writing assistant. And then finally, another Power App opportunity, I guess, would be if you had to get secured information out to your volunteers, different documentation and things like that. You can always be emailed, of course. That's a great way to get information out. But if it's frequently changing information, or you want to have it within a portal where they come to you to get the information and need to log in and get that, Power Apps is a way that you could extend that capability of Cloud for Nonprofit and create kind of a volunteer portal where they could come get that information. So again, all this limited only to your creativity in terms of taking what functionality you have in the Cloud for Nonprofit and then extending it where you need to further your business processes. So with that, Andrew, I'll turn it back to you.
Great, thanks, Pete. I believe
Sorry, I'm
Rachel
trouble
has
coming off mute here. Yeah, here I am. That's actually
worries.
the end of the content here. So wanted to, before we pass it on to the Q&A section, Thanks, Andrew and Pete, for all that information. I wanted to let you guys know about a free consult we're offering today's attendees. Regardless of where you are on your cloud journey or which Microsoft solution you're most interested in, we have the expertise that cover the full Microsoft stack. So we're offering a free 30-minute consult with one of our experts to identify your next steps, pain points, provide recommendations, and help you get started quickly with your modernization goals. We have, let's see, about a little over 10 minutes left for Q&A. So we want to jump into some questions here. My colleague Wade is going to put into the chat that link for the free consult if you're interested, as well as some additional resources. But please feel free to enter any questions you have now into the chat. I see we have one from Jen. Thank you for the question. Jen's asking, is there membership functionality, renewal dates, level of membership, referrals? Andrew, I believe that's referring to Cloud for Nonprofit capabilities.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll pick that up. Great question, Jen. And let me answer that by jumping into the system and showing you. Is my screen showing all right?
Yeah.
Great. One of the great aspects of the Microsoft non-cloud, the cloud solution for nonprofits, is the ability to easily add and customize the solution to tailor to your organization's need. So it's a low-code, no-code approach, which means you won't be locked in stone for the inherent capabilities out of the box. So for example, let's have a look at a contact here, Jim Glynn, and you can set them to be a member, absolutely. So yes, it has the functionality. And you can see within this list here, we have a whole bunch of fields related to this member. For example, when's the birthday, the email address, business phone. What's missing? So membership renewal dates. This is obviously something particular to your organization. Can it be added? Absolutely. So we can add in one particular field to manage that, and it's a matter of a 10-minute process. So during your consultation, when you implement Microsoft Dynamics Cloud, for nonprofits, you will go through this process of aligning your organizational data structure with the data structure inside your nonprofit hub and make them work together in a manner that works with you. Does that answer your question? I hope so. I'll take silence as golden. Any other questions from our members?
Yep, looks like we just got another from Sigrid. Is there proposal or opportunity management, and is there grant management availability?
Yes, absolutely. So proposal and opportunity management will fall within the fundraising aspect of it. Again, depending on your organizational specific needs, we can tailor it to meet your proposal needs within the system. Typically, this is managed. It's not listed on this menu. It'll be managed under the quotes functionality. Obviously, we rename it to match your organizational phrases and data structure. But the answer is yes. Proposal management, opportunity management, grant management, tick, tick, tick. Yes, you can do those. You can extend it even further with a journey management from beginning to end with the marketing module, which expands on all of these functionalities.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. If anyone else has any additional questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Pete, I know some questions that commonly come in when we show some of the solutions and demos you were showing is, are there additional licensing costs associated with those solutions? And are they a part of the Cloud for Nonprofit or something separate, if you want to speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you have Cloud for Nonprofit, you have essentially Dynamics 365, and along with that, you have the licensing you would need to implement Power Platform solutions. So like those customizations that Andrew just mentioned about customizing fields on the forms and things of that, or even creating separate apps like we talked about earlier, that licensing is included. but what's not would be, you know, the like services to help you do that, you know, somebody to actually develop those customizations and configure them for you. So, but from a licensing perspective with Power Platform, you would have that included. Now, where it might be additional would be for some of those custom AI solutions we showed. So certainly, Cloud for Nonprofit has its own co-pilots and AI functionality, which would be included. But what you saw for me with the grant writing assistant, the recruiting assistant, those are leveraging Azure OpenAI in a different way. So there could be some additional subscription services for that within Azure. So and what was the other question, Rachel? Was standalone versus yeah. So yeah, the much of what you saw that I showed, it was standalone just for demo purposes. It wasn't shown in the context of the Cloud for Nonprofit, but it certainly could be built that way, especially like with the volunteer management. You saw the people and the applications and essentially the resume type of information. You know, could we put that recruiting assistant right there within that page of the Cloud for Nonprofit? Yes, we could. Or we can have it separate, whatever the case may be. But you have that flexibility to embed it within the cloud, or where it makes sense, like we talked about, I need this to show up in a specific team, that it's a kind of secondary business process. I need it standalone, but I need the data to flow back into the cloud for Nonprofit. You can do that as well. So the answer is both. Yes, standalone or embedded within the Nonprofit tool.
Okay. Awesome. Well, if you guys would like to chat with either of our experts here about your plans or your challenges, my email address is there on the screen for you. Please feel free to reach out and I'll help you guys schedule that. Also, please feel free to use the links that are in the chat for any of the additional resources you see here, including the free consult that I mentioned before. That concludes today's session. So thank you all, and we hope to see you at our next event.
Great.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Pete.